Hey, what is up, everyone? It's Rich. All right, this is an impromptu video, but I thought, you know what? I kind of considered it a couple of days ago, and I just decided to pull the trigger. Oh, and check this out, too. This isn't open that book. We're just going to look at the cover, though, but I will show you this. This came last night. I actually ordered myself the quarantine sketchbook. I apologize for the glare. The comic book page doesn't have it. But yeah, I had mentioned on the birthday super fun Sunday that I wanted to order this, and I did. And I haven't opened it yet. I'll look at it later. I'm kind of focused on what I'm working on right now, Crystal Planet, and I don't really want a bunch of different imagery like stuck in my head. But anyway, this is an important video. I think it's I want to mark this moment in time with a video so that someday I can look back and go, oh man, it's funny. So that was 3 years ago when that piece sold. But anyway, Jim Lee and this X-Men cover that was inked by the amazing Scott Williams sold. And, people are talking about it. There's, different points of view and all kinds of conversations going on. I just wanted to enjoy the art, but essentially what happened was Torpedo Comics made like an announcement a few days ago, maybe a week back, that they were offering this piece up for sale with serious bids, being considered, and apparently it sold. So, people are, speculating on the price and, lots of different angles on it. And, it's the internet. So, of course, there's positive and negative. But anyway, I just want to enjoy the art. So there's a lot of a glare. I'm going to see this. No, that's not going to work. I just can't see in my phone looking at this side of the page, but we're just going to look at the art. So this piece was done in probably, is it signed with a date? No, there's no date. I'm gonna say like 1990. I think the cover with Captain America, Wolverine, and Black Widow was the indicia said 1990. So this may have been 91. I don't. There's no way it could have been 92 because 92 is Image. So anyway, this cover was split up into 4 comic book covers, and then you could also get a version that had the connecting cover that was a gatefold that folded out. As most people know, X-Men #1 was and I believe still is the highest selling American comic book to this date, and that's an impressive feat. Jim and Scott's art has been collectible for a long, long time. A lot of it's been hitting really insane numbers. 100 grand, close to 200,000, but nothing like this has really come up. And it's a special piece because of just, I think, the historical significance of the issue. So yeah, over, I'm sure, the next few weeks, I assume at some point they'll announce the actual sale amount. I don't know that for a fact. I would think that if you were going to refer to something as a record-breaking amount, that at some point you would probably, talk about it. So maybe they'll do some sort of formal announcement and, kind of, I was going to say milk it for all it's worth, but it sounds like kind of a negative or offhanded thing. But I don't mean it like that. But you know what I mean? Might as well make it like an event, if you're going to announce it. But anyway, it's really incredible because, just based on the speculation, this is no insider information, but, people are saying, was it $1 million? Was it $2 million? Was it $3 million? Was it $5 million? No one really knows yet. It's interesting, but I had started a video and I kind of stopped it because I was drifting a little bit too much in terms of the topic. But when a sale like this happens, you have to understand that this actually does benefit everyone who's a comic book artist, because what it does is the normal person on the street has a higher likelihood of hearing about this sale and then taking comic book art a little more seriously. It may bring in people who are, financially able to invest in art at levels that a normal comic book fan might not be able to. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to bring in people that all have like ridiculously deep pockets. We'll call them whales. But it still could bring it brings interest to it. Look, when Todd McFarlane bought the Mark McGuire home run ball, I think that's what it was. You know, I mean, Todd says, and I don't know if this was his initial idea, but it got him a lot of press. I mean, even my mom knows who Todd McFarlane is, and she does know who Jim Lee is actually, but I think more because I worked for Wildstorm. But that kind of thing puts the idea of comic books out there, and that actually is really, really good for everyone. And people that are on the fence, or maybe people that used to collect as a kid or as a teenager, it might bring them back into the hobby, and that does actually benefit everyone. So, you know, I've always said this, and look, there's been times in my career where I've struggled financially. I've worked on stuff that the original art doesn't sell, and it's hard to watch your peers and people that you work around, just cash is like raining on them. But you know, the thing is honestly, in the forefront of my mind, not even the back of my mind, all that ever made me do is go, this is something that I could potentially get to at some point. I see that it happens for people, and that if you work hard and you do kick-ass looking art, that you can actually be that person too. And then it has happened to me on certain jobs. And so the thing is use it as encouragement when things like this happen. This should be an exciting thing for everyone, you know. So anyway, but yeah, so this is the piece. It's beautiful. We'll take a peek at a few more pages. What the hey? We've got Jim Lee art open. Let's look at some more. So this is also Jim Lee and Scott Williams. It's funny because this piece, I'll try to kind of show the whole thing. In a weird way, it almost doesn't completely feel like a Jim Lee layout, but at the time, you know, there might have been certain goals being set for the piece where they're very spread out, the characters. It's like everybody's got like a little bit of room around them. It's kind of a funny approach to it. But yeah, so anyway, I'm excited. You know, I mean, the collectibles in general have really been kind of blowing up the last like year or so. You would in some ways maybe think it's the opposite, you know, with people maybe having trouble with their jobs and stuff like that, and for whatever reason it's actually seemed to fire things up on a lot of different fronts. I know guitar companies are having a lot of trouble keeping stock in. I was talking to a construction guy today, and he was saying that, like, man, it's just there's so much work, and honestly, like he said that like there's a shortage of people that are working, which is, you know, interesting. But anyway, right, so this is X-Men promo piece for issue number 1. God knows what this piece is worth. This is Jim Solo. I mean, yeah, honestly, as someone that's a friend of Jim's, I'm so happy that he actually still owned that cover, because God, what a nightmare it would be to you know, like have it sell now for some crazy amount. We'll just say 2 million for shits and giggles. And if he sold it for like, you know, 10 grand in like 1994 or something, you know, or maybe even 20 grand, you know what I mean? It's like, I never really regret past sales of art that I've done. And I know that at some point there's going to be something that I worked on that's going to sell for like a lot, just because of some of the jobs that I've worked on. You know, I've seen it happen in small doses, quadruple what I've sold it for. But man, I don't know, you know, when stuff starts hitting crazy numbers, then yeah, it would be a little bit like, oh man, good. That's a lot of cannoli, my friends. This stuff was so influential. I mean, it's crazy because all the artists that I was into or initially got into all had not all, but you know, like 70% had like a lot of this stuff going on. Some nice lines. Kelsey and I actually looked at this book, and we did a super fun Sunday when this book came out. So if you actually are interested in seeing quite a bit of the book and some fun fanboying out, and you want to get a dose of Kelsey because Vitamin K has been taken off the shelves, MIA. Ground control to Kelsey Shannon. But yeah, you guys can have fun and check out that video. And look, I actually was gonna kind of make a tease announcement, but I should be back on Blaster Kid in about 12 to 15 weeks. I know that might sound like a long time, but I'm flying right now. I'm doing 6 pages a week, and I'm really trucking on Crystal Planet, and I'm gonna move right through it. I'll be finished with issue 3 in about how many days? Probably 16 to 17 days. I'm going right into issue 4, and then right into issue 5, and then it's all Blaster Kid from here on out. So that will be very, very exciting for me. I can't wait, honestly, and all the hard work and all the learning that I've done over the last year, on top of the fact that, honestly, like, I can't really say enough, and I'm going to thank the people that have been on my Patreon and gotten reviews and lessons. I mean, you all have actually helped me learn to grow and understand art more. Your questions and your art and drive and desire to do it has propelled me faster than I could have ever imagined. I never, ever in a million years thought that I would, one, do reviews like that. I mean, it's one thing to look at someone's portfolio at a Comic-Con. It's another to do it where it's like, you know, they're actually like kind of like seeking you out to do it. And then lessons, come on, like, seriously, I was so nervous when I started them. But anyway, it's really been an incredible year for me, and I've learned so much. So I want to thank all of you. And if you haven't checked out my Patreon, I really would highly recommend it. There's close to, I don't even know, like, I would say 700 videos up there. There's so much educational content. There's so much that, honestly, I think it's almost too much. You can search by hashtags if you do sign up. I'll have a link in the description box. But if you do sign up, just look for whatever you want. You know, if you want to like learn to ink, there's at least 80 inking videos. There's figure drawing, there's perspective, there's drawing heads, you name it. I've been doing this for a long time. It's like people pick up on my channel and they go, "Oh, you're kind of doing like this thing." It's like, actually, I was sort of doing it a long time ago. You just know this other channel first, or this other thing. But yeah, I mean, I've been on YouTube for between 4 and 5 years, so this is nothing new. And I've honestly, online, I've always sort of interacted with everyone, so it goes way back. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful book. This is the IDW Jim Lee. Let me see. I got the box right here. They do call it the artist edition. So there's artist editions and artisan editions. They're slightly different in terms of how they're laid out, and the sequential content, like how much of it can you read as a story versus we just collected, you know, a bunch of pages. So all right, kissy kissy. This one's actually signed, which would lead me to believe that they sold. A lot of these actually are. I mean, look, and also for anyone that owns any of this art, good job. It's funny because, so, you know, I'm real good friends with Scott Williams. I love him to death. And Scott has funny stories of you know, going to Comic-Con in like the 80s and walking by, you know, like Frank Miller's table, or an art dealer that's selling like Frank Miller, you know, Dark Knight Returns pages. And, you know, this stuff was expensive at the time. It was, you know, hundreds of dollars for the pieces or whatever they were. And, you know, at the time you kind of go like, oh God, man, I can't afford that. I've been there. I've been offered stuff that I really wish that I would have had the money for at the time. That's worth, you know, geez, who knows, probably 30 times what I could have bought it for. But I just didn't, you know, I didn't have $800 to excuse me, buy the art at the time. But, you know, now they're probably worth 30 grand or something. So it happens to all of us. Excuse me. All right, I'm gonna go because I'm choking. I will talk to you all later, and yeah, check out Patreon, and congratulations to Jim and Scott. Okay, bye.